So as the British High Commissioner to Kenya and the representative of His Majesty the King Charles, this is a very special day for me. Dr. Keith and others have talked about the very special place that Treetops Hotel holds for all the British people, as the place where others have said that Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth arrived as a princess and left as a queen. And this is a story that's known deeply in Kenya and deeply in the UK as well. And when His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen visited Kenya last year for the state visit, that was a reflection of the close bond which our royal family feels with the people of Kenya. And His Majesty the King specifically asked me to say, and he said at the state banquet, how touched his mother, the Queen, had been by the support that she received here in Kenya after that famous day at Mount Treetops, where she took on the responsibility of becoming our head of state. And so Treetops has a very special place for our royal family, as well as for all the British people. And indeed, His Majesty the King, when he was still Prince of Wales, visited the Aberdares and spent several days trekking in the Aberdares National Park. And he told me again what a special experience that was for him. And that helped inspire in him the love of nature and the love of conservation, which is really one of his defining features as a king. So today is really a special day for us. And I was really delighted to see at the hotel how you've preserved, how you've kept alive the memories of that special day, and how important it still is to Kenyans and how important it is to visitors. And I love the idea that people think that it brings luck, particularly to women, that they can also become queens when they come and visit here. So that's a lovely symbol. And I'm sure the royal family would love to see what you have done with the renovation of Treetops. So it was fit for a princess when the late Queen came. It's now truly fit for a queen, and I hope many people will come to enjoy it. As well as that important part of our history, as others have talked about, it's also vital that the role of Treetops and the role of the Aberdares in Kenya's struggle for independence, that part of history is also remembered and is also preserved. And I know Dr. Keith and others at the staff attach a great importance to do that. And for us in the UK, we want to make sure that we understand and we recognise, as the Deputy President said, the good bits of our history, but also the more difficult bits of our history as well. And when His Majesty the King visited, he met the daughter of Dedan Kimathi, he met survivors of the Mau Mau, he visited the museum at Uhuru Gardens and tried to make sure that he could understand that history, and he talked about it and acknowledged it openly during his visit to Kenya. So we see, as a historian myself, I value that enormously. But of course, Treetops and the Aberdares is not just important historically, but it's absolutely crucial environmentally. Her Majesty the Queen, when she was here, she saw rhino, she saw elephant, she saw a wild dog. I hope I'll see some of those tonight as well myself. But it's a unique ecosystem. It's one of the water towers of Kenya and has an ecosystem that's unique almost anywhere in the world. And the work of the Kenyan Wildlife Service to preserve that ecosystem, we value and we respect enormously. And myself, I visited the Aberdares National Park with Rhino Ark, who are building a fence all the way around the park to try to prevent wildlife conflict with humans, to ensure that communities benefit from the nature that they live among, but also to keep the wildlife safe. And we, the British government, through our Darwin programme, are helping to train rangers, provide infrastructure, and ensure that the communities get a chance to benefit all of this. And we're continued to committing that support. We think that's important environmentally, but also, as others have said, it's vital for the county of Nyeri and for the communities that nearby. And we're delighted that with the reopening of Treetops, that will serve to create jobs and employment, bring more people, more prosperity, and more services here to Nyeri County. But as the Kenyan Tourism Board also said, that can be part of the broader growth of tourism here in Kenya. We know it's a vital sector for the Kenyan economy. More than 200,000 British tourists come to Kenya every year, and they have an absolutely wonderful time. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the people who come.
Wapi makofi! Great.
Congratulations.
Great. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Wapi makofi tafadhali. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Great. Our hospitality team. Daddy.
Kamanareko, Ekamanare kodeko mweda. Ayaye kamanare. Ayaye. Erega dedeka. Erega dedeka. Erega dedeka tonewe. Ayaye. Ayaye. Erega dedeka. Erega dedeka. Erega dedeka tonewe. Ayaye. Ayaye. Emoge deka. Emoge deka. Emoge deka tonewe. Ayaye. Ayaye. Emaito.
The Treetops is synonymous with Nyeri and life in this place. Somebody may not understand the ripple effect of us having this hotel operational, because I think it is important that we also see this for what it is. This is conservation in the real terms. And as Daktari, you come and, bring some modernity into it, please carry with it the Room 18 and those that have been spoken about so that we don't lose that. Your Excellency, I will soon be pitching. When I go to the Masai Mara, I hear that they get some percentage. I will also be asking very soon for the people of Nyeri that now that the Abadea has been given a new life by its own sons, that we start looking at a way of how we can share some revenue as has been done in other places. That does not mean we will just take away, but we want to work together to be involved in the activities within the park, that we are able to give it a new life.
On behalf of the Director General KWS, I would like to extend a very warm and hearty welcome to all of you to the Aberdare National Park. The Aberdare is the home of the Treetops, and we are really happy this afternoon that this lodge is reopening. Your Excellency, the area where the lodge is located is known as the Salient. And the Salient in the Aberdare historically received 90% of the visitors to this national park. And therefore, with the closure of this lodge, we were very disappointed because the numbers of visitors drastically went down. We are very happy and excited today to see that the numbers have begun looking up. For the last 2-3 weeks, since the partial reopening of the lodge, I want to tell you, Your Excellency, the number of visitors to this national park has actually been going up. And this really is what we've been looking forward to. So we want to assure you that as KWS, we are going to always do what we need to do to ensure that the visitors who come to this park and who indeed visit the Treetops are going to have an experience of a lifetime. Last night, we had a little conversation with the wildlife, and that is why, Your Excellency, a rhino appeared at the waterhole. And we will ensure that that will continue happening, because really experience is the main thing. And the Aberdare is well known for offering one of the best visitor experiences in this country. We have some very unique wild animals in this park. Critically endangered bongo. I think the last time it came to the Treetops was 1975. With the reopening, we really would want to see the bongo here. We have rhinos. In fact, the Aberdare is one of the rhino sanctuaries in this country that is doing extremely well. We are also putting our act together now so that we can revamp the rhino sanctuary so that the rhino numbers can also go up. Your Excellency, we have more than 3,000 elephants in the Aberdare. So it's really one of our strongest holds for the elephants. And indeed, some other very unique species like the giant forest hog, which I'm sure may also show up at the waterhole one of these fine days, probably to the excitement of most of the visitors. But we want to assure you, Your Excellency, that the Aberdare is one of the best conserved pieces of treasure that we have in this country. Very rich historically, not just because the queen became queen while here, but it also very useful for us when we were fighting for our independence. We have the Kemadi Post Office within the park, and we want to invite you, guests, today. After this event, please visit the park. Do a game drive. There is a lot that can be seen here. Apart from the animals, we also have areas that are very scenic, magnificent waterfalls. The Karudu Falls, the longest falls, I think, in Africa, which is a very big attraction to visitors. We have the Queen's Falls, Your Excellency, Ambassador. Please make sure that you see the Queen's Falls today. That's where the Queen had lunch when she came.
The reopening of Treetops could not have come at a better time. And I'll give you a couple of reasons why. The first one, just this week, we received statistics on arrival numbers into this country. For the first time since 2019, we have reached and actually superseded the 2 million mark that this country achieved. Let's clap for ourselves. So what this means is that the tourism arrivals in Kenya are on an upswing. And Your Excellency, we are working overdrive at Kenya Tourism Board to drive these numbers to at least 3 million in the next couple of months before the end of this year. The second reason why the reopening of Treetops is coming at a very good time is that shortly, Kenya Tourism Board will be launching the Tembea Kenya campaign. Now, Tembea Kenya is meant for the domestic traveler, you and I. And since this campaign was launched a few years back, it has been very successful. Actually, Tembea Kenya contributes over 50% of the total bed nights spent in this country. So, we'll be looking to promote this particular environment, and we are lucky that Nyeri is very well interconnected. Governor, I think you are the only county that you can travel from Nairobi in 2 hours on a superhighway. Beyond that, the interconnection between the surrounding counties makes this place extremely accessible. Gen Zs are now of age. These people have now arrived in the income earning bracket. And Dr. Keith, as you do your marketing strategy, please, in your social media platforms, can you include TikTok and Instagram? Let's bring these people. They are always hunting for authentic, immersive experiences, like what Professor Musyoki has just talked about, those waterfalls, the history that this environment is rich in. Would like these people to come and experience. Now, you talked about the Mount Kenya circuit. This is my point number 3. It's true. The reopening of Treetops has revamped and shall re-energize Kenya Tourism Board's promotion of the mountain circuit. This area is rich in diversity, from agritourism, adventure, mountain hiking, golfing, nature walks, bird watching, ecotourism. You can mention on and on. Now we have a chance as Kenya Tourism Board to put this gem on our sites and promote it, help you promote it. And that's what we do. Now, Going on to my last reason is the issue of sustainability. Over the last 2-3 years, the issue of sustainability has been a big agenda, both at the local and the global scenes. We've all witnessed the ravages of climate change, and we are very happy to promote this sanctuary as an icon of sustainability. Treetops has been at the forefront of wildlife conservation, environmental conservation, and being at the forefront, you are a big role model on other tourism enterprises and how they can be able to harness the environment at which they work in.
Very much, Top Classic Band. Let's give them a warm round of applause for the great rendition. Now we're moving on well. Good. And the third gift is now.
To give his remarks. Welcome, Bishop. And maybe Bishop should tell us if he has picked his raffle. Sounds like there's a bit of interference. Unajua ile raffle ni kama pini yako. Siri, unaweka kidogo unashikilia. Welcome, Bishop.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the House of Clergy, I want to...
From various invited guests and at this juncture, sir, if you please allow, I wish to invite up the stage Bishop Paul Wanjohi. Thank you so much. Please a round of applause for the good job Derek did. And especially for our...
This is one night for 2 people on full board at Vipingo Beach Resort. So we'll start with the volunteers who have assisted us. Please stand here. Animal name and the animal code. Swara 032. Swara.
Welcome, Derek.
Thank you very much, Rose Gaku. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Thank you very much. Great, you can pick the next raffle. Please come and stand here. Asante sana. And now to the maiden winners, karibuni sana hapa to receive your awards. Jackie, if you could get me one more award. Asante sana.
Ego kokoa, ego rara na dida, ego yewa.
Is a trip to Kibo Guest House.
Riga, 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 Riga.
Great, great. That has been made clear. She's a KWS staff, so we can't.
Samsung Ultra inavuruta kama huyu. Inavuruta kama hii.